Hello, and welcome to a new video and a new channel. If you're coming from my old channel, it's nice to see you again. And if you're new, please make yourself comfortable. My name is Naomi, and first I'd like to say that I am no Bob Ross. Bob Ross was more because on this channel I'm gonna share art videos like this one. So if you enjoy it, please consider subscribing and sharing the video. For the first video, I thought, what's better than drawing the banner for this channel? I wanted something that really represents me. And if you know me by now, you know that I love sci-fi. And from the get-go, I had that vision of a high-rise court, split in two. I don't know what that means about my psyche, but if you know, leave it in the comments. But because I had this idea of splitting the background in two, I was like, this is perfect to draw two different types of genre. My favorite one, cyberpunk, and my second favorite one, solarpunk. First, I started to draw a quick sketch to see where goes what. Once I had the quick sketch, I decided to start on the cyberpunk side. So let's do a little bit of research on the cyber side. I'm gonna be honest, because I drew already a lot of cyberpunk stuff, I didn't spend a lot of time on the research. However, I found this tower, the Ponte Tower, in South Africa. This tower really takes me to another world, and apparently I am not the only one, as many movie has been recorded in that tower.
If you grew up in Johannesburg, you heard nothing good about this building. You heard nothing good about this area.
Everything bad that you can imagine, it was at Ponte.
If people heard that you were coming to visit here, let alone stay here, they'd say you're out of your mind.
New owners took over Ponte in 2001, just as police started trying to clean up the neighborhood. Life in the Hollow Tower got better.
You can walk to Ponte now. You will see that it's a nice environment.
I'm glad I researched a little bit about the Ponte Tower, as it made me think of some issues that could happen in those type of buildings, such as how to seal the inside court so that people don't fall in it. Once I was done with my quick research, it was time to paint the cyber side. So, if you remember from my previous channel, I am not that great at perspectives. The perspective in that drawing were pretty straightforward, so I started painting until I realized I made a mistake, and I had to restart a part of it. Oh well. Once I started repainting, I realized that I didn't do a color study. The image that I had in my mind were so vivid, but looking at the end result now, I'll admit it, I would have benefited from it. The most complicated part of this painting was the sheer amount of details I had to put in. And oh my god, there were so many doors. Those doors took me so long, between the perspective, the texturing, and all the tiny doorknobs. So please, let's take a moment of silence for all the doors I had to paint. Okay, now we're getting to the part that I enjoy the most. Painting the light and little details of life. The doormats, plants. Yes, it is a dead plant. It is the dystopian side after all. The signs, and my number one favorite, the graffitis. Then it was time to add the glass that would prevent people from falling inside the high-rise court. And finally, the background city. With all this, the cyberpunk side was done. And now I was back to the very beginning on the solarpunk side. I had difficulties finding the colors that I wanted. You'll see that throughout the painting I tweaked them a couple of times. Also, I wanted this side to be strikingly different from the other side, so I made everything less angular, more rounded. And now, let's talk about the fences. I had this idea in my mind I remember that I watched an architecture YouTube video about a new engineering technique using computer to build lighter materials, but I couldn't remember when and where I saw it. So I went on the internet and just looked for it. I don't follow a lot of YouTube architects, so I had not a lot of choices, but they all have a lot of videos. Finally, I found it, and I could finally put a name on what I wanted to recreate. It is generative design. I took so long to find the video, so I'll let the video explain you what it is.
So there were quite a few projects using generative design technology, which is where you can set up the parameters like constraints, material properties, or even manufacturing processes. And you can use the software to optimize the 3D model.
From what I saw, generative design give that look of a spider web or, I don't know, the saliva you can find in the movie Alien. It sounds great, but it was the worst idea ever. I just barely recovered from all those doors that I had to paint, and now I had to paint very intricate fences. I had to pay attention to the perspectives, then I had to draw all the guidelines because I tried to duplicate them, but it didn't work. And once I was done with the guideline, I had to erase all the tiny holes. But wait, after all this was done, because the fence is a 3D object, I had to add all the shadows. Okay. And then I moved on to the floor. As I said, I wanted this side to be very different from the other one, so I used wooden floor. And again, some doors. But this time, because this side is more utopic, I made sure that there will be less doors because I'm imagining that the apartments would be bigger. It is not because I didn't want it to paint that many doors again. I made sure that every doorknobs would be slightly different from one another to add a little bit of characters to the background. And finally, we are back to my favorite part, the lighting. I didn't add a lot of details on that side. It gives a much more clean appearance. But yes, I did add some plants. And look at that one. This time it is not dead. And finally, I was about to be done. I just needed to paint the background city. Again, here, everything is very rounded. I am not gonna lie, it did make me think of a banana. And once both sides were done, it was time to think about how to mix them together. But nothing really worked, so I opted to mix the sky together, but leave the building with a very abrupt separation between the two sides. And finally, my banner was fully done. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to this new channel. I'm gonna post on this channel one Thursday out of 2, so please keep an eye out for the next video. Without further ado, let's have a look at the final piece.